I am LaToya Benton. Xavier Hill was my son. He was murdered by mistakenly on January the 9th, 2021.
Jamal Byrd, he was murdered by DC Metropolitan Police in their custody. He died in their custody, and they claim that they don't know what happened. They had no business arresting him.
This is Life After the Impact, a podcast for impacted families by impacted families that focuses on what happens after the lawyers and the activists are gone. Impacted families are left to face the loss of a loved one to police-sponsored violence. We will focus on their continued fight for justice and how you can get involved.
Be the one that just walks away. Bunch of police take another life today. Leaving loved ones torn, nothing left to say. Candles burning, and all we do is pray.
The root of state-sponsored violence, be it through the slave patrol in the 1700s, be it through the lynch mob in the 1800s, be it through law enforcement, is grounded in the history of racism and white supremacy in this country and the disregard for Black life. There were a whole host of stereotypes that went along with the enslavement of African people. And one of the most predominant stereotypes and fallacies about Black people, Black men in particular, is that just by nature and just by biology, Black men are a threat, are aggressive, are violent, and later are criminal. The books, the narratives, the media still portray Black people and people of African descent in that same stereotypical and fallacious way. So the same stereotypes that were used to justify our enslavement are the same stereotypes that people are using to judge us and characterize us now, and it's dangerous.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Roxane Johnson. My son's name is Jamal Byrd. He was murdered by DC Metropolitan Police October 1st of 2019. I'm here with my co-host always.
Hey, guys. Hey, Roxane. Good evening. My name is LaToya Benton. I am the mother of Xavier D. Hill. Xavier was murdered by two Virginia State police officers or troopers January the 9th, 2021, at the age of 18. Tonight, I'm honored to be joined tonight by Marie. You want to go ahead and give your introduction?
Yes. Good night, everybody. My name is Maria Hamilton, and I'm the mother of Dontre Hamilton. Dontre was shot 14 times in broad daylight in Milwaukee, Wisconsin by Christopher Manney, April 30th, 2014. It's been 9 years for me.
Well, we're just so glad to have you here, Maria. We're sorry that it's under these circumstances. But tell us what led up to this event with your son.
Well, Trey, he lived by himself. Prior to him getting this apartment, he lived with me. He only came back here because I was in a car accident and literally had my jaws wired, had to learn how to use my hands again. And he was my caretaker. Upon me going back to work and still in rehab, he decided he wanted to move into his own place. So he did. And I think he was there maybe 2 months. And I kept seeing different signs of him being distant, or when he would come around family and we would do stuff on the weekend. I was like, that's right, we need to have you checked out. Because it didn't seem right. And my family had mental illness, so I didn't even know what it looked like. but I knew something was wrong. So I took him and got him evaluated. He was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenic. And they put him on medication, and he continued to work, live by himself, care for himself, had a girlfriend. He was getting ready to engage. Well, I think he was going to do the announcement the Friday after he died. Dontre loved being out in nature. So going to the parks, giving the kids sodas, just relating and socializing with people in the park. That was his thing. This particular day, that's what he did. He was sitting on a bench, and I guess at that point he got tired and decided to lay down. And upon him laying down, manager from Starbucks felt uncomfortable. He wasn't talking to anybody, so I couldn't see what her problem was. She called the police 3 or 4 times. They came out the first 2 times, told her wasn't anything going on, that wasn't going to do anything. That
But you said this happened from the Starbucks?
Yes.
Okay.
So she in turn called the beat cop. His name is Christopher Manney. Christopher Manney was a beat cop because none of the other police officers wanted to do a ride along with him. So they put him in this area, and this area is filled with veterans, college students, and regular business people. He acquired a relationship with these people and told them, if y'all need something or you want somebody to remove, call me. And she called, and he received the call an hour after she had talked to the other 2 police officers. He called to check the call. They told him that the call had been answered. It was clear. And he told them to put a suspect in the park and put him there. When he did enter the park, Dontre was asleep, and he took his billy club and was poking at him to get up. And once Dontre got up, he, it startled him, and he's like, "Hey, I ain't already talked to the police. I ain't did nothing wrong." And then he decided he wanted to search him, and by Dontre being in crisis, you don't touch a mentally ill person in crisis. And had he took the CIT training that was offered to him, he would have known to call somebody else more suitable to engage with Dontre. After he hit him a couple of times with the billy club, Dontre took it from him, backed up, and this man proceeded to pull his revolver out, and he shot him 14 times, broad daylight, 3 o'clock afternoon. It was 100 witnesses. A week prior to Dontre getting killed, a law had just been signed by Scott Walker saying that any incidents with police or any shootings, they would have another outside entity to come in to do the investigation. But Milwaukee is the only biggest city. Most of the state is rural. So the detectives took it upon themselves to do all the interviews, talk to everybody, go and try to seek out stuff on us. So it was actually 8.5 hours before I was contacted. When I was contacted, I was interviewed.
So we know, Miss Maria, that people with mental health issues are 5 times more likely to be injured or killed when involved with police officers.
Absolutely.
Did the district attorney indict this cop, or what happened when the legal part got involved?
Right.
I actually thought that they would, but I'm sitting waiting on my court date, and I'm actually subjected to Christopher Manney getting fired in October. And then he filed a motion to get his job back. So I had to do a court hearing for that. Watch the man fight for his job. We had talked to the DA office, and once he did he retired, he filed a claim to get his job back, and then he filed disability, saying that us protesting and rallying and everything caused him to have PTSD.
Wow.
They upheld the firing, but 2 days before Christmas in 2014, the DA decided that he wasn't going to press charges.
So they fired him, but they didn't indict him.
Nope.
So he got fired, but not indicted.
He got fired because he attempted to pet Dontre, and Dontre wasn't a criminal of anything.
He was still wrong then, so why was he not indicted?
Wisconsin laws, I think you've heard that they can kill people and not be held accountable.
It ain't just in Wisconsin, Miss Maria. It might be segmented to one part of the country, but we see it in every state in the so-called United States of America, right?
Yes.
These people who are supposed to be peace officers end up creating a crisis, then they resolve it in a violent way.
You know, I think in Dontre's case, I thought I was the only person that this had happened to. I thought it was an isolated incident. And to sit 6 months and wait for a decision not to charge based on Dontre taking the billy club from him to stop this man from beating him,
right,
caused him to articulate fear.
Yeah, but see, that's almost like an excuse. They use that as an excuse. That's the excuse they get to use. And that's
but he didn't articulate it. The chief of police, the DA, they did. They gave him 3 opportunities on a video interview to articulate that he was scared for his life, and he could not do it. And they still did not charge him.
That's crazy. And like you said, I say all the time, they love to put themselves inside of a situation, right? And then say, "Oh, I fear for my life."
Yes,
right.
Right. Well, he never did say that he feared for his life. They asked him on the stand when he was trying to get his job, Mr. Manney, why wouldn't you call for backup?
Right.
He said he didn't want the other guys that worked on that shift to joke him.
Not because he feared for it.
That was, and that was acceptable.
Wow.
To a judge and the other attorney. So I don't understand that. I said within 5 feet from this man, him explaining my son had a bulge in his pocket. It was a bag of candy. And that's what he's saying. And that gave him reason to beat my son, because Dontre had 7 bruises on his body before he took the billy club. And then you put 14 bullets in him.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was literally like people as close to Dontre's body turning, going down on the ground as you are to your son's picture. And they gave statement that it was done with malice.
Do we have a picture of Dontre we can put up on the screen?
We like to put a picture with the face of your handsome son here.
The DA wasn't charged. He's been our DA for 22 years now. He has never charged.
That's insane.
With the crime.
And see, we were
Y'all,
just talking about that. We're just talking about there should be some kind of limitation on how many years people can be allowed to be in seat, you know, even if you
Right.
want unopposed or not, there should be some kind of limitations on that because when they're in there for 20 years, 50 years, 40 years, like that's
Well,
crazy.
we literally vote him into office. It's
right,
over. The majority of citizens in Milwaukee is 65% Black. They
Oh
won't
my
vote.
God.
look, y'all got.
Roxanne, what did we just talk about? What did we just talk about?
We were just talking about this, Miss Maria.
Election,
Y'all got to vote.
1/3 of the population vote.
Come on, y'all. You got to
That's
vote.
crazy.
Come out and
We
vote.
need to vote like
Yeah.
our life depend on it because you know why? Our life do depend on it. When we vote for the district attorney, states representatives, and
Yes.
they are not having an agenda, having a strategy, having legislation that's
Mhm.
helping our communities, we got to vote they asses out. Period.
Out.
Yes. And that's one of the problems in Wisconsin is the inner city is mostly Black, and we get the less amount of money from the state and federal government.
Yeah.
And all the jobs have left. If you work here, you have to go to the suburbs in order to make over $725.
Mm.
And hey, mass incarceration.
Yeah. How about that? So, Miss Maria, what actions are you working on, or have you been working on to get justice for your son?
I once I realized I wasn't going to have my day in court, and I met so many other families just trying to get the truth from the system here in Milwaukee, I felt like I wasn't the first person. It has been 89 men who have been killed by Milwaukee Police Department in the history of the police department, starting as far back as 1865. Was
any indicted?
No.
Wow.
We had one officer that they was going to charge, and he was involved in a murder in 2002. He stood up on top of a car, and put 15 bullets into this car. He didn't get charged for his murder, but 2015, it was a group of police officers that was going around stopping and frisking and doing cavity searches. He went to jail for that. The other police officer was the officer that was his partner, and he ended up committing suicide in jail. Wow. So no, we have had no officers except one Black officer in 2016, but he knew the person that he shot, and there was a benediction. It was a rival or something going on, because this young man was dating his kid's mother, and he was bisexual. He out here raping. He ended up going to jail for 6 years for raping 2 men during the protest season, but he didn't get a day in jail for killing Seville Smith.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, out of 89 people killed, Milwaukee police, one has been indicted, but he wasn't even indicted for the crime he did. He got indicted for something else.
Yep, and he did 3 years. He ended up doing 17 months. Wow. For the rapes.
Yeah, it's crazy. So tell us about what you're doing, because we like to hear about
right.
Because, you know, we got to have some solution-based kind of things going on here.
Well, you know, I appreciate my family and really holding me down, because while they were here fighting the city and the county and legislation and trying to change laws and get policies said, I went on a bad district to get the body cameras because even though Starbucks had footage of what happened, they gave it to the Milwaukee detectives. So I never. So we fought for them to get $107 million to all get body cameras. I also fought for them to be CIT trained. Now, what they did was
hold up. What's CIT? What's CIT stand for?
It's crisis intervention training. And that is somebody who goes through the 40-hour training and take a test, and then they will be licensed to actually go to a call where a mentally ill person is in crisis and do evaluation.
Okay.
If it's needed for them to call mental health to come out, or if they have to take them to mental health, at that time, he calls 2 trained officers in to take him to the mental health facility.
I got a question for you. You said the first thing you said that you fought for them to put money into them getting body cameras, right?
Yeah.
Now, often what I'm finding is that when we're getting, when most people are getting body cameras, it's not the matter of them getting the body cameras. It is what they're doing with them and whether or not they're releasing the footage that comes along with it, as far as like transparency is concerned. So have you guys done anything on that side as far as like once they get the equipment, as far as policy is concerned, like how soon are they to like release it and things of that nature?
Well, even though there was footage, we didn't see it. We got the body cam footage for them for the transparency. And I'm fighting right now in court a junction where we fought for 2 years to get the body camera footage shown to the family in 48 hours.
There you go. That's what I'm saying. Something like that. Yeah.
For the community. Because literally was taken up to 45 days.
Right.
And dismantling, I mean, really just showing the community and the family bits and snippets.
Right.
So we went on this campaign to do the 48.
Right.
24, 48. But they allowed us 48 for the families and 15. Girl, the next morning, the police association put a junction in to stop it.
Wow. You know, because I often say the family seeing the videotape is not going to hold up your investigation, right? You're going to still investigate what you need to do regardless. What if we see in a videotape of what you did to my loved one? How are they going to hold up your investigation, you know? And a lot of times they'll still give you the body camera. They'll have them or the so-called wear them, but the policy does not require you guys to actually let us see the footage within an adequate amount of time. That's happens to a lot of people.
Right, but we see the footage if that person shoots at the police.
Hello? On all the news stations. On all the news stations.
Yes, they'll show that. While I was in Florida with you, they had the injunction meeting. So they took it out.
That's
3
crazy.
people since I was with you have been killed by police here.
That's insane.
Wow.
Since I left you. While I was with you, there was a police shooting.
Wow.
So it's like, since nobody is being held accountable, we have the most powerful as police association. It is a police state. Everything police, they get all the funding, they get all the city funding, they get all the training, and they still come out and kill people.
Okay.
So literally this week, we're back and forth in court trying to get the footage released because it went into effect May 1st. So the people who was killed May 1st, May the 4th, May the 5th, May the 7th, we have a right to see that footage.
Absolutely.
But the judge is withholding it. And then what's so sad about it? He looked like us.
So Maria, what can we do? What can we do in our audience as well? What can we do on our end as far as helping out Is there any calls we can make? Because we're not on that state, but what we do on our end to help apply pressure? Because like they say, all skin folk ain't kinfolk,
Oh,
you know.
Right.
And I'm learning
Right.
that, and that's the truth, man. They can look like us all day long, man, but don't mean their agenda is like it's the same thing. They can have their own personal agenda as to why they're actually in office. It ain't for the community.
I can share our legislators' information with you all. Once we got the Fire and Police Commission to change the POs for the body camera, then the state legislators got involved. They joined with the police association to do like a shared tax. So money that's owed to the police association for retirement from 20 years ago, they're getting ready to make us pay a 15 tax so they can get that and hire 500 more police officers to invade our communities. And we want them to put it on a referendum. So we need everybody to call the state senators, call the governor's office and tell him to veto that bill, because all the other counties, they will get money coming in. All these rural areas, all of these farms, everybody gonna get money, but all our money, there's a stipulation in the bill that the money will only go to the police department or people that actually work in public safety. And our community gets nothing. And if they don't get that share of revenue, we'll be in bankruptcy in 2024. Wow. The city will have bankrupt because they owe Milwaukee Police Department so much money. But I did, I got the opportunity to do a march on Washington to have the federal government come in and look Dontre's case over. And Obama was in office at that time. And I literally called for a Million Moms March, but what I got was 25,000 family members of loved ones to come to the march. Because some of the moms couldn't. Some of the sisters and brothers had killed themselves or had did things acting out because of their loved ones and not getting justice. So
the aftermath.
Yes, that was in 2015. So I did get all of them CIT trained. It costs, I got the money from the Milwaukee Foundation, and they gave $500,000 so all these police officers could be CIT trained. And guess what?
When you started doing
not one of them took the test. Not one of them are certified. Out of 800, it was only 15 that we can literally call right now if I go into crisis. Only 15.
So why are they not being made to take the training?
It's not mandatory.
No, it wasn't. And the way that it was implemented into their policies, they had to volunteer in order for the model that was set in place. They had to want to do it.
So how do you make it mandatory then? How do you make it to the point, if you know you got 800 officers and only 15 are certified, what is the next step then to make it mandatory?
The Lord changed their heart.
That ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen. We need laws.
Yeah, like seriously, like what is the next, like what will be the next step to?
And they were actually paid. So the facilitators, one was from NAMI, one was a mother who works with the mental health task force. And they belittled them and treated them so disrespectful that they didn't even want to do the training for the city of Milwaukee. So they did it for the sheriff department. All our sheriffs, they're CIT trained. All state police officers are CIT trained. Just these folks where I live at. ain't. And there's nothing we can actually do, because like I said, everything we try to have changed as far as police are concerned, the police association go to legislation and they just kill it.
Yeah, but see, even that alone, that should be, you know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that. What I'm learning is that like when they got like the police association, the police unions, when they say to us that supposedly the Constitution says that no man or agency, right, is supposed to be able to come in and to like, you know, trump any kind of laws that are constitutional rights, whatnot. So it shouldn't be they should be able to come in there and just have their way and say, because we're the police, we're gonna do whatever we want to do. That's not right.
It's like that in the state of Wisconsin. That's why this is the
But
worst place.
again, like she was saying, I think it's like that's everywhere though. You know, we got police unions everywhere.
It's everywhere.
It's because we have 263 white, old geriatric white men who have been sitting on legislation, making laws. They do not come to Milwaukee. All they do is make laws for us. You can't have abortion here.
So we gotta wrap this discussion up, Miss Maria.
Yeah.
I mean, from what we're saying, what we're hearing, there's a lot of work that can be done in Wisconsin.
And we're constantly on the ground. I pat myself on the back because I could be broken in this bed. Yeah. But I do want to see better for the city. So I will continue to work with the different grassroots organizations to continue to fight. I'm in several organizations in the city, and we're truly on the ground in the courts trying to change laws for everybody.
Yeah. Look, you can please share with us as well when you get a chance. Please share with us the information that we can, you know, like call to help to apply that pressure. That'd be great as well.
Yeah.
Okay, I will. There's also, because I said I thought I was an isolated incident, then a couple of other people ended up getting arrested for being in Starbucks and being Black. I decided to do a documentary, and it's called The Blood is at the Doorstep, and it tells my complete journey for 4.5 years. I would advise you and your audience to go and see it, because we shouldn't have to prepare our kids to walk the street and pray to God that they don't come in contact with police so we can see them.
Yeah, that's right. And I would just say that to the people of Wisconsin, mainly Milwaukee, that might be hearing this podcast, get registered, vote.
Yes.
Or accountable that you vote for. Get registered, vote, and hold the people you vote for accountable. And if they're not doing what you need them to do,
get them out of there.
And you know the reason, just to let you know, the reason I said that they not gonna have a change of heart, Miss Maria, it's not because I don't believe that people's heart can be changed. But what I grew up with, my mama told me that, you know, prayer is important. But prayer ain't worth a whole lot when you're in the middle of a bear fight. When you're in a bear fight, you're fighting for your life and you're not thinking about praying. You're thinking about surviving the bear fight. We are in a bear fight, people. And we need to act like we're in a bear fight and stop being mamsy-pamsy about this and use all the tools that we have available to win the fight.
That's right.
Right. And I will share numbers, information, the policy we had changed, and the different fights that we have with you all in the up and coming next days. But I'm also planning Dontre Day, which should have been April 30th, but I had to push it back because of all this trauma that's going on in this city. So I will be at Red Arrow Park on the 27th of May from 3 to 7 with our community giving back.
Perfect. We'll definitely look out for that flyer as well. And just you could too as well throw up on there. So coming up, you guys, speaking of community, we want to extend invitation out to the community as well. We're gonna try to some kind of way coordinate a community discussion, a virtual community discussion. I'm terrible, I forgot the date. But we're gonna try to coordinate a virtual community discussion, mainly just different topics about, because everyone has a different ideology on what justice means and like what accountability means, right? So it's important to kind of like have everyone grouped together to say, hey, what that may mean. Can you put that on the screen real fast, please?
One second here, I got it almost. Hold
It's
on.
okay, take your time.
But while she's doing that, I know, we as mothers, we can tell our stories, and sharing is caring. And the fact that we interact with each other to get our stories out and that type of thing. We really need to come together to change some laws and legislations.
And that's what it's about, Maria. I think people gotta realize that's what the podcast here is about. Our podcast, we talk all the time. We don't mind. We want to hear what the story is about, because you want people to be able to relate to your pain. But you need to understand, like, to hear that they can get certain laws changed. There are certain things we can do together collectively, but we have to be taught those things, right?
Yes.
So like I said, there it is, prime example. That's the whole point of us having a virtual national community discussion. So we can get discussing things like that. There are 8 panel spots. I think we might have 5 panel spots now available. The dates on there as well, you guys. You can send an email to life@theimpact@gmail.com. And so we put in there you want to be on a panel discussion. We're gonna change the topic up as we go along with different discussions. But it's more so to kind of the whole community to be able to communicate with each other and to express the ideas we have as far as how do we move forward. Everyone says go to the DOJ. Everyone says have a process. Okay, so let's talk about it together as far as why we gotta do these things and how we do these things to move forward. So please go into life@theimpact@gmail.com if you want to be part of the panel discussion.
Okay.
Yes.
And once again, thank you, ladies. I could be reached on social media. One of my organizations, Mothers for Justice United. We are a support system. We do peer support work. The Coalition for Justice is my family organization. They're on the ground here and nationally. And then I'm one of the mothers of the movement. So we're going to keep fighting.
That's right.
It's sad that we have so many mothers who are coming on board, but we want to embrace them too and show love and teach them how to truly fight.
Absolutely.
Right. We're gonna keep moving forward, Maria. Maria and LaToya, we're gonna keep moving forward, not 1 inch back. Keep moving forward until the victory is ours. We'll see you next time here on Life After the
Impact. Good night.
Good night. Love you, ladies.
I'd like to challenge everybody this week. The same way you take time to, get on your treadmill, go for a walk, go get you a coffee or whatever. Take 5 minutes to call up this action form and just go through that list and make those calls.
Yes.
That's the challenge for this week. Do it.
There's about, I think, between 9 and 10 other actions you can help out with daily. It's actually so user friendly that all you have to do is you can click on the email, click on the number, and from your smartphone, it should do the action for you. We're trying to make it so that it's user friendly. We don't have all the names. We don't have all the names. We don't know all the people. It's impossible to know. But what we can say is we can provide a call to action. Whoever is missing out there, add them to the list.
And this list is only growing.
Yeah, that's the sad part. As long as the list is growing, we should still be fighting, right? Look, they out here doing ice bucket challenge. Let's have a call to action challenge. Y'all be out here climbing on crates, wishing your life for Life's on Facebook, like on Facebook, right?
Facebook, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
let's challenge it on Facebook and support these young men and women that's lives been taken from them so brutally for no apparent reason. That's the call of action